Hi, and welcome to another GodTalks.Online. I'm your host, Lori Minshouse, and today we are going to be talking about thankfulness. Sometimes it's very hard. So Paul in 1 Thessalonians 5 tells us in verse 16 to rejoice always. In verse 17 to pray without ceasing. Now prayer will be a topic of a future God Talks, but not today. But in verse 18 he tells us, give thanks in everything or in all circumstances in another translation. For this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Give thanks in everything. Sometimes it's easy to be thankful when things are going really well. But sometimes we also forget to be thankful when they're going too well. It makes me think of the 10 lepers. The story of the 10 lepers. It's found in Luke 17:11-19. 10 lepers shouted out to Jesus, begging Jesus for mercy and for healing. Jesus tells them to go show themselves to the priests, meaning he was healing them. Now it's important to know that the priests were the only ones that could declare you healed after having leprosy and that could declare you clean. So all 10 took off to the priests while they still had leprosy, which is, I think, an important thing. But as they walked, they were healed. But only one of the 10, realizing he was healed, turned around, ran to Jesus, fell on his face, giving thanks for this miraculous healing. Okay, first of all, Jesus asked, where are the other 9? But what the really cool thing is, how cool is miraculous healings? Okay, healing will be another topic of a God Talks in the future. But only one of the 9 were thankful. Only one. The other 9 took their healing and Jesus' mercy for granted. They just wanted the rewards of the blessings of being healed. But what about the 10 before they were healed? Now the Bible doesn't tell us anything about them. But I wonder, did they have attitudes of thanksgiving? Or were they probably a whole lot more like us? Did they were they complaining and whining about how unfair life is? How unfair that they had to have leprosy? Was it all about them never finding anything for which to be thankful? Were they asking, why me? Yeah, I have asked all of those questions when I came down with POTS. I'm not going to lie. Was it really thankful? Very much right then. But do we look at our lives and wonder why us? Why are we having to endure this hardship? Or worse, why is our child, our family member, or our friend going through their hardships? Why doesn't God just stop this from happening? Many times there are no answers, or at least not good answers. Okay, on a side note, it never is truly amazing how stupid answers that people will give you for why you're going through what you're going through. Never fails to amuse me. But Paul tells us that in all circumstances, we are supposed to be thankful. And that means when we are at our best of times, when we are at our worst of times, when our heart is breaking the most, when in our darkest nights, when the doctor tells us our diagnosis and the impact to our lives, we're supposed to be thankful even when there is no apparent hope. Having lived through the pit of despair, or the darkest night, someone telling you to be thankful is seriously like pouring salt mixed with alcohol, mixed with the strongest acid into your wounds. It hurts, and it hurts to the core. However, my counselor had told me, start giving thanks. So my first day, all I could come up with was being thankful for air to breathe and water to drink. Although with the caveat, if I didn't have water to drink and didn't have air to breathe, I wouldn't have to worry about my problems now, would I? but that's another God Talks in the future. My second day, because I'm such a nerd, huge nerd, and because I couldn't think of anything else, I was thankful for oxygen, hydrogen. So I need to hurry up. But over time, I started thinking about more things, being thankful for being born in the United States of America, great music that I could hear, and how it moved me. Over time, the difference in my life was huge. It started happening slowly, but it did happen. So whether our world right now that you're going through is more like the 10 before the healing, or the 9 after the healing, or the 1, may we learn to be like the 1. May we learn to say thank you and be grateful for even the smallest of things. May we never cease to be thankful. I'm also thankful for football. Speaking of football, my current record is at an abysmal 17-16. Oh, so bad. I'm so embarrassed. But I do want to take note. Most of the games I picked with, I pick first and then I check, and they went in line with the odds. However, I do want to make I'm not sure why. I do want to point out a couple games and note. I did take Atlanta over the Giants. I just think it's about time for them to have a breakout game. I don't know. I can easily lose that one. I also took Minnesota over Seattle. They're both coming off of losses and very hard losses, so that's a toss-up to me. I gave Minnesota the edge. Most people went with Seattle. I also want to mention out Tampa Bay at Rams. I picked Tampa Bay, but very reluctantly. If it had been December, I'd been Tampa Bay and Brady all the way. It's September. A large part of me really thinks that the Rams will win today. So join us on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 12:30. You can catch us on our website, our Facebook page, or our YouTube channel at GodTalks.Online. Good luck and God bless.